Girls in Action. I'm going to wait a sec so people can start joining. Tonight was the 5th presidential Dem debate, and kind of a snoozer, more so than the others. But I'll touch on the good, most interesting moments. Just waiting for a few people to join before I start my speaking. It's a late hour because they keep putting these on so late, and I don't know why it's so difficult for them to put 2 debates, like 2 nights in a row, like they were doing. Having 10 to 12 people on a stage is absolutely ridiculous. And then tonight it was only 2 hours versus the 3. I know 3 hours is long, but I mean, it's for president. There's many topics to speak about. So in any case, let me see. All right, I'm going to start. So I'm going to go down a couple of the posts I made on Twitter because I took notes and made posts. So one of the things was Bernie was asked about something to do with foreign policy. He talked about voting no in Iraq, on the Iraq war, but then he also brought up the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza by Israel. He talked about supporting the Palestinian peoples. He really, brought to the stage what a real foreign policy president says. And he brought those things up himself. Nobody asked how he felt about that. He brought it up, which is awesome. Props for that, Bernie. He said, "We must treat the Palestinian people with the respect and dignity they deserve." Amazing. He wasn't even asked about it. Okay, so I'm not surprised, okay, but Elizabeth Warren tonight literally said we should expand the military. She literally said that. She said it's something along the lines of it shows how great of a country we are that people want to give their lives. It was messed up. Let me see. It says Pete and Tulsi got into it. It was pretty funny. Tulsi called him out on saying that he would go to Mexico with our troops and about drug cartels. And of course, he stated he never said that. And she brought his quote out, and he's like, this is a perfect example of the media taking a snippet, et cetera, et cetera. But he totally said it. Pete Buttigieg also decided to throw a low blow, and said there's over 100 years of experience on this stage, and look where we are. Because some people were saying, why, you were mayor of one town for 8 years, and you got under 11,000 votes, and then you ran for treasurer and you lost. So people were asking about his experience. Is that enough experience to win a presidential election? And he got defensive, and that's what he said. So Biden said that, Biden, oh my God. Yeah, Biden. He was slurring a lot tonight as usual. But he was saying like he's the black people's candidate, and that's why Obama chose him and stuff. And this woman on Twitter, Bree Newsom Bass, she said, I don't think Biden was selected as VP because he could draw black votes, but because he would appeal to white uncomfortable folks for whites uncomfortable with voting for a black presidential candidate. 100% agree. Bernie mentioned that 87 million people in this country are uninsured and underinsured, and Joe Biden laughed. Literally. I am upset because no one asked Pete about his high hopes, that that thing that they're always playing that gets stuck in your head for like a year and a half. You're welcome. What else? They were talking about student debt and did not let Bernie forgiving student loan debt, and they did not let Bernie speak, even though he's the one that brought it to national attention in 2016. We just hit 10 million followers on Twitter. Bernie did, which is exciting. Let's see what else. I took a picture, it's on Twitter, of Pete Buttigieg giving Warren the biggest stank eye in the universe. Ariana Grande endorsed Bernie. That was exciting. So one of my favorite moments, I mean, Bernie was great, as always, but one of my favorite moments was I won my first election by getting $17,000 of donations from ex-boyfriends. Klobuchar. You get it, girl? I was impressed. I was like, yeah, that's what's up. So many lies on the debate. That's what gets so frustrating. It's so hard to handle. What else? Before the debate, some talking head on MSNBC said, a sociopath will beat a socialist every day of the week and twice on Sunday, saying that Bernie could never beat Trump. Because apparently he's psychic and he owns every single person's vote. So Warren kept saying the top 1/10 of 1% over and over and over. And then she started saying the 99% over and over and over. She said something about, that's why people decide not to get their medication because of the price. They decide not to get it? No, that's not what happens, Liz. No, people don't decide not to. They risk their lives because they don't choose the fact whether to die or have, no money to actually get their prescriptions. So that word just bothered me when she said it. And then Liz also said, build on Obamacare. Shocker. Cory said pathways. Cory Booker. He said, he did say something to Biden that cracked a lot of people up. They were talking about African-American issues, and Booker raised his hand and said, hold on. He said, hold on, Biden, you're saying you're a candidate of black people, but you said that you did not want to legalize marijuana. And to be honest, when you said that, I thought you were high. It was pretty good. But then, and Joe did say that, absolutely 1 billion%. All of us read the article, all of us saw the quotes. And then tonight, when Corey approached him with that, he was like, no, take everyone out of jail, expunge their records. Nope, legalize it. Yep, absolutely. Nope, we're doing it. He has no idea. I don't even think he's awake. I'm not sure what's going on. But he essentially reneged everything that he stated. So Pete is incredibly cocky, incredibly, and I absolutely sense sexism in Pete without question. I think it was very gross. Tulsi called him out on something he said about going into Mexico, which should have been called out, and he was extremely rude to her. And I'm not a fan of Tulsi. I'm not just sticking up for her. He was really nasty to her. And I started thinking, is this sexist? Do you just not want a woman to question you? But you could see it on his face. He was like, taking deep breaths so he didn't explode, but you could see it in his eyes. He was reeling. He was pissed. So yeah, Pete just really disturbs me in a lot of ways. I find him, well, not just unelectable because of his bloodlust for going to war and things like that, but also because of his complete disrespect of the African American community. I don't know if you guys saw this, but several things he did this week were just abhorrent. So Pete comes out with this list of a bunch of African American people in South Carolina who have endorsed him. Only most of them are white. None of them have endorsed him, and he used stock photos for them. A woman on the internet saw her photo of her and her child. They're in Kenya. They saw their photos on his website, used without their permission. So here you have a list of all these African American people who are endorsing him, yet many are white, many say they never endorsed him, and others are stock photos. So in this day of the internet, why do you think people aren't going to find this out? That's my question. You're doing this to make it seem like African Americans support you, and it backfired to show that you have to make it up to make it seem like African Americans support you. That's pretty bad. It was bad. So that was Pete for the most part. Kamala, she said to Tulsi, you've attacked President Obama on Fox News for 4 years, and then I'm not really sure. I never saw her on Fox News before that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't know. But I'm not really sure what that had to do with anything. But she came at Tulsi with that. And she did get some good in at Tulsi's, but the thing was the moderators were very inefficient. Like in a way that others haven't been. Like, just when people would skirt questions, they wouldn't back up and be like, wait, you didn't answer the question. They weren't doing that. They were just, very, okay, next question. And then they were only taking 2 people per question. 2 people with 1 minute each. That after a question. How is that okay? There's 10 people on the stage. Then Kamala said, the year of our Lord 2019. I'm not sure what the hell that was. Then the the one moderator actually asked Kamala and said, you made a statement about Pete Buttigieg and how he addressed the African American community. And she said, well, what I said was, somebody asked me. That's what it was. And while we're on the topic, instead of addressing that, what I will say is that our country, blah, blah, blah. So Kamala totally did not say anything about Pete, even though she was directly asked. She was given the go-ahead to tell him, this is unacceptable. You are being a racist. Black people do not support you. She literally had the most perfect opportune time, and she changed the subject. Why would we want a president who can't even stand up to him? Like, you can't even stand up to someone on the debate stage, but we think you're gonna stand up to Trump when you're on a debate stage with him? Are you kidding me? No. Unacceptable. She was given that chance and she walked. What else? Yang. Oh my God. First question he's asked is a foreign policy statement. What's he talk about? Not foreign policy. He started talking about automation. So when somebody's talking about, like, okay, when you've never been in politics a day in your life and you're asked about foreign policy, you probably shouldn't just switch to talking about automation. Well, what happened in the past is he's been asked about Palestine and Israel in interviews before, and it's gone as poorly as you would expect. I mean, just atrocious. So tonight he skirted it. Now, any other debate monitor with journalistic integrity would say, okay, cool, you're talking about automation. What does that have to do with foreign policy? Nothing. So can you answer the question? But they just let it go. They let him ramble on automation word salad for his 1 or 2 minutes, whatever it was, and then switched. That's not a good way to run a debate. I've run debates before. Granted, not as important as this one, but still, that's not cool. He did wait until his second question to mention freedom dividend, which was impressive. They asked a few people about healthcare, and then they went to Bernie, and he goes, "Thank you, because I wrote the damn bill," which of course got some laughs. Rachel Maddow actually waited a good half an hour before she asked Bernie the gotcha question, so I was kind of impressed with how long she waited. She said, people at Trump rallies used to say, lock her up, and now people at least 2 of your rallies, meaning Bernie's, has said, lock him up. Do you think that that's acceptable? Like, you trash Trump all day, and you're talking about some people in his audience saying, lock him up? Like, are you kidding me? First of all, Bernie's not going to tone police people in his audience, okay? Like, he's an activist. He's not going to tell people, don't say that. I mean, you're talking 24/7 about how he should be impeached, but somebody says it a different way, and you're saying he should call them out? Please. It was a gotcha question, and they were going to frame it to make him look bad regardless of what he said. One thing Bernie said that he said a few times is that fossil fuel companies should be prosecuted, which no one else says. When Bernie was talking about foreign policy, he said, well, I definitely won't make decisions on Twitter at 3 in the morning. It was pretty cute. Klobuchar, I'm sure this was a dig at Bernie, but she said, I'm not going to offer things that sound good on bumper stickers and then throw in a free car. She has just her jokes are gems. Biden was slurring a lot tonight again. It's very difficult to understand him sometimes. Now, apparently, even after he's shunned countless climate protesters and people like that, and gone to how many fossil fuel banquets and things like that. Now, tonight, when he was confronted, he stated the words, "Climate change is the biggest existential threat." Okay, dude. Took you a while. We don't buy it. Then he made, I'm not sure how many of you guys remember, but about, I would say a year or two ago, Biden made a comment that was something like, "No, I don't feel sorry for millennials. Give me a break." He did something like that tonight. He was trying to, I think in his mind it sounded like encouragement, but it was not. He said, "People walk around like, woe is me, woe is me. And just get up, get up." And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's literally like trashing people who are hurting. Because that's what he was talking about. Like, woe is me. Not woe is me. People are starving. People are getting kicked out of their homes. People are one doctor bill away from poverty. Like, this isn't woe is me. People are freaking hurting. So yeah, that's about, I don't know. That was about all that was worth reporting. Wasn't that exciting, honestly. It really wasn't. I'm sure you guys will see all the highlights. Ooh, excuse me. So, on a personal note, tonight I had an interview with the Bernie Sanders 2020 campaign for regional field director. So I won't find out if I got a second interview for another week or two, but I had the first interview tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think it went okay, but to be honest, she had kind of a poker face, so I'm not entirely sure. But so I'm in Pennsylvania and the position is in New Hampshire. So I would be moving there for about 3 months, should I be hired. And that's because I would be, working for the campaign until the primary. But since I'm in Pennsylvania, we don't have a campaign office for several months. And I'm like, well, screw it. I met Miss Nina again when I met Bernie again last Tuesday. And I said, Nina, I was talking to her. She recognized me. We had a good conversation. And she said, you'd be willing to go to New Hampshire? I said, absolutely. My dream is to work for the campaign. Absolutely. Tell me when and where. So she said, she gave me her personal email and she said, send your resume and cover letter to me personally. I'll make sure they get it. So 2 days later, I got a call that, an email saying they'd like to interview me. So it was pretty exciting. So fingers crossed, because I'm just like so excited that I got to interview to work for my hero. But hopefully it's more than an interview. But yeah, I'm not sure what it means for my show. I'm not sure, because, should I get a job with the campaign, I'm not going to be able to talk about the same things I do. I'm not going to be able to like dump on other candidates, which, trust me, I've been very conscientious the past few days on Twitter and such, and it's so hard. It is so hard, but I know the campaign is like adamant about, social media, and they do a thorough check. Which I'm like, oh my God, I have 40,000 tweets. Like, am I really gonna have to go through all these? But I figure, my Twitter page does say, in my bio, um, posts are not representative of Bernie, 2020. So, but yeah, the past few days I've been way more behaved on Twitter, and it's like I keep going to post things and then Xing out, and I'm like, no, but that was so good. So yeah, it's kind of painful in that regard, but if it means I get to work for my man, then so be it. So cross your fingers for me. We shall see. Dun, dun, dun. But thank you guys for watching. Till next time, thank you guys.